Okay, and we are good. We are good. Da 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 da. We are here. We're good. We're live. Yay. Da, 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 da. There we go. Everything is set up. We are good to go. Let's get started on the Act 3. What is over here for Act 3? Do 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 do. Hi.
I see. Thank you so much. The Adventurers Guild has been overwhelmed these days.
No worries at all. We've always valued the strength of adventurers. Given the current situation, it's vital that we all work together. Since we're facing the same enemies, I'll send you the intel we've collected on the Abyss so far. Then we can take a look at how to coordinate our efforts.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hi, Catherine. It's us. Got any new commissions?
Ah, you two have come just in time. I've got some good news. The Pyro Archon has finished assembling her forces and stationed them all across Natlan. Given how the Abyss has ramped up its activities lately, we can no longer afford to act only after receiving news of an invasion. So the Pyro Archon suggested that the Scions of the Canopy and the Adventurers Guild focus on collecting and disseminating intel. That way, we can stay informed of everything that's happening across the land. Once we receive word of enemy activity, we can notify the nearest camp and the stationed forces can take immediate action. Yes, precisely. This should also allow us to focus on gathering information rather than running around and trying to tackle everything at once. So please also take a chance to relax, you two. You've been working hard these days, and this will be a good opportunity for some well-deserved rest.
So that's the plan. Whew, we can finally stop and take a break. Paimon knows that. It's not like Paimon just wanted to lay here and do nothing.
The movements of the Abyss are always unpredictable. There have also been times when it suddenly became more active in the past. The people here generally see it as something like an acute natural disaster. Once the disaster is over, everyone will return to their normal lives. We just all hope that day will be sooner rather than later.
Oh, right. Most people have no idea just how bad the situation has gotten in the Night Kingdom. Oh, hey, Kachina! Are you feeling better now?
So this is what those videos were about. Where there was less dialogue from the voice actors. That makes it suck. I mean, having their voice actors actually say the words kind of put more depth into it.
Wow!
I'm just reading
so we'll
it.
finally get to meet Shilonen, the legendary forger of ancient names! Paimon still can't believe anyone could forge those things. yourself, Kachina. After all, you're already a victor of the Night Warden Wars.
Onward to the Children of Echoes. Where thou is she?
Ah, yes, so I've heard. So young, and yet you've already got quite the reputation. Wait, are you Outlanders?
Yep, we're travelers who just arrived in Natland not too long ago.
No, I mean, I was aware that you're travelers. It's just no one told me that you're Outlanders. No, the only thing she said is that a new hero had pledged herself to the plan, but we need to forge an ancient name to ensure she'd be able to return safe and sound. And she did mention that it would be quite difficult to forge an ancient name for them, but at the time, I thought she was just commenting on my skills. But I seem to understand where the true difficulty lies now. Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm used to it, really. I just need a moment to process things. The Pyro Archon's requests are always difficult to fulfill, and we used to argue a lot. Honestly, it's probably for the better that she didn't bring this up at the time. Anyway, I can't argue with her if she isn't here, and it'd be pointless to take my anger out on someone else. But, just because I understand her rationale doesn't make me any less upset, after all. She must have known that forging an ancient name for an Outlander is an impossible task.
It's impossible?
As you probably know, an ancient name is a symbol of a hero's spirit and glory, which grows even richer and heavier as generations of successors inherit it. We forge ancient names by engraving the heroic deeds of an individual who will become the first hero of that particular name. But they were all performed outside of Natlan, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Then those deeds haven't been recorded by the Night Kingdom. To take it one step further, even if you had performed heroic deeds in Natlan, as an Outlander, your actions still wouldn't have been recorded by our lands. Only memories and experiences that have been acknowledged by the Wyab can be used as a basis for an ancient name. Even the greatest of craftsmen cannot create something out of thin air, you know. That's just how it is.
Seems the Wyab don't want just anyone to get a name, huh?
Mawika, of all people, should know better than anyone, yet she's still entrusted the task of forging the ancient name to me.
Oh, Paimon gets it. Nobody's happy being asked to do the impossible.
Ugh, don't remind me. Let's just focus on how we can pull this off. How to achieve the impossible.
You mean you're already willing to accept the task?
Well, what else can I do? What's happened is already done, and it's not like I can outright defy the order of my Archon. If she gave me this order, then she believes the ancient name is an indispensable part of her plan, and that I'll be able to find a way to make it happen. In other words, the order is an affirmation of my abilities.
Whoa, not only has she accepted the task, but now she's looking for silver linings?
The key is getting the Wyab to somehow acknowledge the Traveler's existence and record her heroic deeds.
voice of a Wyatt when we were in the Night Kingdom before. We even had a whole conversation with her. If we can talk to her again, maybe we can figure something out together.
Well, every tribe has their own Wyatt. How do we know if the one you met is indeed the best one for us to talk to? Plus, considering the unprecedented nature of this situation, I have a feeling that the acknowledgement of one Wyatt alone, I don't know, that requires a level of knowledge that I do not possess. We need to find a consultant who's an expert on all things Night Kingdom and Wyatt. The first person who comes to mind is Lali at the Masters of the Nightwind, the one we call Granny Eatstali.
Oh, we've heard that name before. We used her Spirit Speaker Stone to find Kachina's ancient name. A person who can make something like that must be pretty impressive. Paimon
Still, she's older now and quite eccentric. It's hard to even book a meeting with her, given that she's constantly holed up in her room and doesn't like to be disturbed. I've heard that to get her help, you have to be extremely patient with her and know how to keep her spirit up.
I hate to break it to you, but...
Huh. Why is that? I mean, didn't she already help you before? And you even managed to save Kachina.
Well, yeah. At the cost of her Spirit Speaker Stone being split into two.
Great going, Moeka. We're already off to a rocky start here. In that case, I guess your only option is to try to emphasize that this is an important order from the Pyro Archon. Hopefully, Lali would still want to show respect to the Archon. I'll also write you a letter on your behalf. If you can find someone to deliver it and mention some good things about you, then that should help too.
Paimon sure hopes a Hal won't interrupt when he's talking, though.
All right, Kanich is a seasoned negotiator. I trust that he'll know the best things to say. Please just give me a moment to write the letter, and we can meet up near the Statue of the Seven later.
Sounds good. We'll take a stroll in the meantime.
Cool. Alright, the music is way too loud. I gotta turn that down. Alright, let's go. Yay. And even Kanich doesn't have a voice actor. That is great.
Yeah, I'm sorry to put this on you, Kanich. It's just that you're probably the only person who knows how to deal with her. Oh, wait, so Kachina and the Traveler also know about the plan?
Right. She mentioned there are 6 heroes and that Shilonen is one of 4 that have already been acknowledged.
Oh, well, then I suppose there's no need to keep any secrets between us. Having companions walk by your side is perhaps the best solace when facing such a bleak reality.
See, Lali knows him too?
Given how the Masters of the Nightwind love to babble about dreams and revelations, they're already a pretty strange bunch to most. I've never met Auroran, but if they consider him the odd one, he's got to be pretty far out there.
Huh. Makes sense. But Paimon wonders how Seat Lally could be the first one to notice Auroron's disappearance if she spends the whole day in her room.
Huh, so if I'm following, you mean we'll help her investigate Auroron and the captain's whereabouts?
Yeah! Plus, we kinda owe her one anyway to make up for breaking the spirit speakers down.
Ah, this is a pretty well thought out plan. As expected of Molly Poke Nietzsche. Then, yeah, I'll leave my letter to you. Let's hope Seat Lolly can meet at the stadium in 2 days. Okay, then let's part ways for now. I'll see you in a couple of days.
Waiting the clock out to continue the Archon quest.
Something you wish to report?
Oh, it's time to meet up with Shilonen. Let's ask her how things have been going.
And back down here. Yay.
Hey, Shilonen, how's everything going?
Oh, hi, Traveler and Paimon. I have bad news. Seat Lolly did not reply to our request, although I suppose I'm not too surprised.
Huh? You mean she didn't even bother to give Kenichi a response? Guess she really does have quite the ego then.
Yeah, well, she can be also quite eccentric, though she's one of the most gifted people around. Even the Masters of the Night Wind often struggle to work with her. My guess is that she probably has other reasons for not deigning us with a response. But let's go to the stadium and see if we can meet her there. If we do get a chance to talk to her in person, we can still try to work something out.
That's true. Let's go!
To the stadium.
Paimon doesn't see anybody.
Well, we tried to be as considerate as we could, but
That might be true, but this is still a request from the Pyro Archon, right?
a subject? Well, if you ask me, I'd say we're all more like friends with the Archon. Yes, Mawika is our leader, but that doesn't mean there's any kind of tall barrier between us and her. The only thing is that she often has very high expectations.
So even though she's super powerful, it sounds like she's actually pretty down to earth and easy to get along with. Unlike that old hag Granny Eachtley, right? Does she think she can ignore us just because she's famous? You all talk about her like she's some kind of huge deal, but she didn't even bother to reply to our letter. Seriously, if she didn't want to come, she could at least let us know.
It depends.
If that's what aging does to you, Paimon never wants to get old.
Which Hydro Bloom set are you using?
So, that's how you see me?
Like, which Hydro Bloom team are you using? Because from what I've seen, only certain ones do work with the Viridescent set. Well, I only say that because certain ones work with better teams than others.
Huh? Who's there? Who's talking next to Paimon?
Lisa, Kuchi, Sara. Electric characters.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just a disgruntled old hag, right? Come on, relax. I'm sure my bark's worse than my bite.
Huh? See, Lolly.
Wait,
Here, 1 second.
Your
Let me
seat,
get to
Lolly?
this dialogue and
you're Granny Eatstily?
forgot hearing her nickname is kind of funny to me.
Yes, Granny Eatsley. But emphasis on Eatsley, not Granny. You must know this trope from light novels, surely. They use it all the time. The young man who's actually the oldest person in the room. The girl next door who turns out to be a seasoned veteran. The wise sage who looks like a little kid. Oh, wipe that look off your face! You've seriously never seen an older lady that doesn't look her age? Okay, well, don't go thinking it's a trick either. See? I'm barely wearing any makeup.
I can't at the moment because I can't pause
Did
it.
I forget to mention? She's called Granny, but she's actually pretty young. It was an honest mistake. I guess we've just gotten used to it.
I'm sorry.
'Cause,
So, how old are you actually?
What? How dare you? Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady her age?
But, if you're trying not to use Keychain, between Kujo, Sara, and Lisa, I'd say, I forget what Kujo Sara's burst is.
Paimon really didn't mean to offend you, it's just that, your case seems really
Burst should be
unique.
the dash one, which throws her backwards, right? Where she shoots lightning arrows down. So, depends if you're gonna main Lisa or you just want a quick burst. Or actually no, because you could just use Lisa's ult. But if you're trying to go for Hydro Bloom, I would say Kuju Sara would be your better bet. But then again, I do not know what your Hydro character is. And same with your Dendro character.
Oh, Paimon just wanted to apologize, but
It was my idea to invite you here,
Yes,
Seat Lolly. So if you're upset, you can just take it out on me.
So, depending on what your Dendro and your Hydro character is, it would be better to choose between your electric characters. I'd have to know that to be able to tell you. But, Barbara and Kale. I say Kale for her throw up a burst, which swings around like a boomerang, and then Barbara with her. So I would say Lisa would be your better bet for that. But I would use her in bursts. So like I would do your I would do Barbara's healing field and then throw Kale's boomerang. After throwing her boomerang, I would go ahead and pop Lisa's burst to go ahead and do the most of Hyper Bloom. Because you're gonna get the Hydro Bloom from running into enemies with Barbara's burst, and Kale's burst should swing around and hit almost all the enemies, giving them Dendro, so that should drop the Hydro Blooms, and then you just have to use Lisa to launch all the Hydro Booms into Hyper Booms.
All right. I was only joking. I didn't mean to chastise anyone. There's really no need to take all this so seriously. If
But
anything, I'm gonna feel awkward if we keep this going.
But back to your question on the Animo. Yeah, so like Barba's E, then Kale's E, and then you could do Kale again, or you can wait a second and then do Lisa. Or you can do Barbara's E, Kale's, what was it, hold down arrow, like, you know, when you aim down with the bow and you fire the bow a couple times. You could do that also, and get a bunch of Dendro Hydro Blooms off of that, and then use Lisa. But then again, if you're gonna do that, you need to build into what was it, Lisa having crit damage as her main DPS, which is usually what you always do with Lisa.
I
Just build into
received
her
Kenichi's
crit.
letter and was planning to attend this meeting. Since I had already decided to come, I figured there was no need to draft a reply that simply said, "Understood." Besides, just showing up is the most important part. No?
You mainly want to go into both Elemental Mastery and crit. But the main thing that's going to get you your most damage is going to be your crit damage. Because Elemental Mastery only increases your, your charge rate, essentially. Like the amount of charge rate you'll get for your ult. So, I mean, it does also boost the elemental reaction too. So, yeah, you mainly just want to build into elemental mastery and crit damage, because crit damage scales on crit rate, and crit damage scales on the amount of lucky crit hits. So essentially, the more your crit rate is higher, the higher the DPS, the more of a chance you're going to get a crit damage. The higher your crit damage, the more higher the DPS damage you're going to do to the target. And then Elemental Mastery ties into that, causing even more damage if you're doing an elemental reaction. And if you're going to go with an Animo character as your fourth for that build, I would say go ahead and use... There's three I would suggest using. One would be, if you have it, Kazuha. The second one I would say would be Sucrose for her burst, and the third one I would say to use would be Lynette if you're going into Animo. If you're gonna add an Animo character to that, those are the three I would choose between. Because Lynette's ult will do both the Animo burst, but also it will grab the first elemental ability that hits it.
But, of course,
If I can get through this dialogue, I can
it's
show
also
you.
natural for people to get held up by one thing or another as they're trying to leave the house. It certainly was a bit awkward to see that everyone else had arrived before me. At first, I was thinking of quietly sneaking over, but since you were already here waiting for me, I started to think about how I should phrase my apology. Only to hear you all talking smack about me. Anyway, that's the whole story. Honestly, it's not like I owed you an explanation anyway.
What's with that expression? Was she feeling embarrassed just now?
When the Masters of the Night Wind say they struggle dealing with her, I wonder if the feeling is mutual. She seems to be pretty awkward herself. Everything she does and says seems a little forced.
Anyway, Shilonen, I heard that you require my help in crafting an ancient name.
Correct. The situation isn't like anything we've handled before. Let me explain.
I see. So Mawika has asked you to forge an ancient name for an Outlander. Well, that would be a first. And you've also heard all about Auroron. I must say, he's always been a good kid. I can't see him joining the Fatui of his own volition. He must have been coerced somehow.
Yeah, that's what we came here to ask you. We'll help bring Auroron back if you help us solve the problems of forging the ancient name. What do you think?
I suppose I'll just call you Traveler for now. Traveler, come here. Let me take a good look at you. Wealth leads to unending conflicts between people. Yet you alone transcend the value of gold. Baleful thunder and wrathful waves bring terror to mortal hearts. Yet again and again, you've braved them to find new worlds. A weary yet free soul, even the most verdant leaf in the forest will pray for your happiness and safe passage. Those are all the things that I could see in you. You've experienced far more than even most mortals could dream of. You possess the heart of a sincere hero, along with the conviction to lift a torch above your head and walk headlong into the night. Huh? Don't move. There's something here.
Huh? What thing? Don't scare Paimon. Is the Traveler gonna be okay?
Shoo! That should do it. You've just returned from the Night Kingdom, so some fragments of souls were still stuck to your body. No need to worry. I've just cleared out the last of them.
Isn't that kinda like having part of a ghost come back with you?
It's nothing as serious as that. If left unattended, the most it could do is stir up some chaos in your mind, and generally worsen your mood.
Well, in that case, better to get rid of them.
It was nothing. Shilonen, let's follow your proposal. Once you've brought Auroron back, I'll take you to see the Lord of the Night.
The Lord of the Night? But don't we need to talk to the Wyab of the tribes?
Something this important is beyond their jurisdiction. Only the Lord of the Night can decide whether we can grant an ancient name to one who does not hail from our lands. The Lord of the Night is an ancient entity that rules over the entire Night Kingdom, constantly borrowing the power of the sacred flame to combat corrosion from the abyss.
Oh, so you're basically saying it's even more powerful than the Wyab of the tribes. Well, that sort of makes sense, being the Lord of the entire Night Kingdom and all.
Not exactly. It's not so much that one's more powerful than the other. But never mind. That's not important. It would take too much time to explain. Just listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. The Lord of the Night is currently in a deep slumber, and we can only communicate with its consciousness while in a trance. In other words, in a dream. But I will need to prepare a few more things if we are to hold a ceremony to achieve the state of the trance. I'll make a list. Can any of you get everything for me?
I can go. It'll probably be a long list, so better leave it to someone who knows all the local vendors.
Sounds good. Then we'll go with St. Lolly to track down Auroron.
Phew, the Fatui are nothing to scoff at, so please, be careful during your investigation. If you need any help, just come find me.
Yep, we'll be be sure to play it safe.
All right, now it's time for us to catch that brat and bring him back. Oh, I'm sorry I made you wait earlier. It was actually because I decided to swing by Auroron's place to look for clues. He has always lived alone, and I found a broken jar in his house. There was also something off about his phlogiston aphids, which I assume is because their keeper has been gone for quite some time. And interestingly enough, I saw some slash marks in the house that did not match any of our local weapons. My guess is they were left by Snezhnayan arms.
Oh, sounds like the Fatui broke into his house and took him hostage.
But why would they kidnap a kid who just spends his days living in the country and raising aphids? He's only in his 20s. What would they want with him? That's not to say that I believe he's totally innocent, of course. Since he's the only one who was kidnapped out of everyone in Natlan, he must have done something to attract their attention. In any case, we'll get to the bottom of this once we manage to get him back here. I'm truly sorry to put you two through all this trouble with me. But please help me get him back.
You can count on us!
All right, then let's start by heading to where Auroron was seen last.
Yeah, that usually happens. I don't even think I have that team fully maxed out myself, I'm gonna be honest. Here, one moment. Okay, so... which ones did we say?
I can do it. I'll keep an eye on you.
So, we'll do Lisa.
I'll take care of it.
And what was the last one? Kale. It is Kale.
Everything's ready. Let's...
Alright. I did not... So, I don't really have anything for them right now, but I can pretty much show you in a domain real quick. If I go to one of the domains, just go to this one. We'll have to do the lowest difficulty. Pretty much, this is how it would work.
Let the show begin.
Hey, Rosa. Anything?
Come a little closer. Hip, hip, ha!
And then you would pretty much just do this ability. Since they're all Hydro Slimes, I can
Just
do
like we
that.
rehearsed.
You've been a naughty boy.
Now that I'm looking at this, between Lisa and Kujusara, I'm gonna see real quick, which one would be better? Where is...
I will lead us to
Oh, yes, sorry, forgot. 1 second. I have to exit first before I can do that. Moment. There you go. Now we do this. Since they're all Hydra Slimes.
Strike!
Stand clear.
Looking at it now, I think Kujo Sara would be better.
Flash!
Only because of her E being a detonate. Yeah. No, okay, so the reason for that is because Kujo Sara's E is a teleport, and what it does is it charges her bow to have a detonation trap. That's what her E does. It's a detonation trap. And then her regular shot is just a quick version of that trap. Yeah, so when you use her E, you're essentially, what you would do is you would do Barbara, run around, get all of them with Hydro, and then you would go ahead, throw Kale, and then swap to Kujo Sara, teleport back, and then plant it on the ground and let it explode the area of all the ads. Now, you can use Sucrose, or you can use Sucrose, Lynette, or Kazuha to go ahead and pull all the enemies into one area with Animo, and then use Kujo Sara's ability if you wanted to. Or you could do the Animo first, then do the whole Barbara, Kale, Kujo Sara. That's fine. But the reason why I bring up Lynette, right, is I can show you real quick. Where's my Lynette? So, for Lynette, wrong thing. Her ability, Enactment Fate, is essentially a thrust of a sword, right? Which is where she will swiftly thrust her sword. But the main thing you want to build on her is her ult, which for her ultimate she'll throw down a what was it, like a burst, essentially? So if I swap to her real quick, I can show you. So swap Sucrose out for Lynette.
Is it time for a match?
Grab Lynette's thing real quick.
Cue the
And
spotlight.
it's essentially a burst that lasts for a couple seconds. And it will repeatedly just keep going off, giving Animo to targets. And it's great because it ties in with the whole build, where you can go ahead, you could use Hydro, throw down her ult,
Over here!
and then that ult will now burst out Hydro with the thing. So then essentially you don't have to do the whole run around sequence. You can throw down the ult, use Hydro from Barbara, and that ult would now do a Hydro for you in that general area. Does that make sense? I mean, I can show it in practice real quick so you can see. I just need to get her ult back.
Flash!
Ready, steady, go! Chip on up! Quiver!
There you go. Alright. Now that we got that, we don't have to fight these guys. Go in here real quick. So, let's do this again. So you can see it in action. I go ahead. I start this up. Let all the enemies group up.
Be amazed!
It is going the one shot right now, but you can kind of see it. It's going to do the whole hydro thing with it. Because it says immune on them since they're hydro. But then it allows me to lessen the whole effect with using Barbara. And then I can just use Kujosara and Kale. That's the whole point behind it. But, my personal favorite team to use right now. So, to detonate her trap, it's a delayed time. It's not an immediate detonation. If I read it off real quick. Retreats rapidly with the speed of the Tengu, summoning and protection of Crow's Feather. Gains Crow Feather cover for 18 seconds. When Kuchis fires a fully charged aim shot, Crow's Feather will be consumed and will leave a Crow Feather at the target location. The Crow Feather will trigger an ambush, which, like it says, essentially you get a bonus attack damage ratio on when using it. So essentially, you use it, your attack is boosted. As soon as you fire an aim shot, it's set on a timer. The timer is 6 seconds. After the 6 seconds, it will explode. So it's a 6-second timer, and if you get her Constellation 1, you can knock it down to 3 seconds. So when you fire the trap down, it has 6 seconds. If you get the Constellation, it has 3. And then it will explode. It's timer based.
To strike your foe takes...
Yeah, so without any constellations, it will just be a 6-second timer.
Between mind, arrow, and...
And that's fine. Where was the team? Oh, I'll just change this team. So, when I first...
Let's go.
When
Time
I
is
first
against us.
started playing...
We can do this!
this...
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Find out who was the other character when I first started playing. One moment.
I'll bring
Oh,
my
yeah.
seasonings.
So when I first started playing, this was the actual team I used. And the whole reason behind this, just heal all of them. Didn't heal that fully. The whole reason I used this team to the start was because I could throw that down first, pop her heal,
Speed of light.
and then she'll
Incoming.
but also you're looking for a Dendro team, so
With sword comes shadow.
one moment.
Don't blink. Yeah.
Just pick one.
Incoming.
You're looking for a Dendro team.
This world is full of unsolved mysteries.
This would be my preferable Dendro team. Like, was just starting out.
In the name of the Prinzessin! You lead the way.
Wish
If
me
I
luck.
was just starting out, this would be my preferred Dendro team.
Let the show begin.
Now, the only reason for this team would be because I could place officials. I could place Oz down, have the sentry turret. There's one way is from Banner, because she is in the regular Banner. She's just luck drop from the regular Banner. Let me see if I check the listings. Oh, never mind. They did remove her from the regular Banner. Originally she was part of the regular Banner. I know you can get her to drop, I believe it was from a mission? Wait, oh, sorry, Tristara. Oh, no, she is still in the regular Banner. Her drop rate's a 5% to a 13% still, just like every other 4-star. But I believe there was a mission that you could do, but I think that was an event mission. Is when you could have got her. Yeah, she's in the regular Banner right now.
May the glory
Just a
of
luck
the
drop
Prinzessin
4-star.
bring light to this world.
Yeah, so, what was it? I'm saving right now for the upcoming. I might skip the next banners, but, so you know, next banner coming out is actually really good characters. The next two characters coming in the next two banners are Nahida and Hu Tao. Are the next two 5-stars. So, if you're looking to save your Primo Gems, that's what I would spend them on. Or you can spend them on one of these two right now. But personally, I would say wait until the next banner drops. Because Hu Tao is a great Pyro character, and Nahida is a great Dendro character. Because she can make a field zone that buffs all your party members.
About the well-being of...
Yeah. What was it? What does it do? Yeah, gives Pyro bonus, Electro bonus, and Hydro bonus. So, for what you're trying to do, I would say Nahida would be your better choice. Now, personally, if you're going to go for damage, I would wait for next banner and go for Hu Tao. Only because of her burst. Because even though her burst takes 30% of her current HP, it increases her attack by 3.85% of her max HP. And you can upgrade that to do even more damage. Which she's usually used in a lot of Pyro builds for burning through mass bosses' health. Just like how, for example, though I don't have Hu Tao, but for kinda example, I can show you. If I swap to this build and go here, I'll just do the Electro one. I go here. Yeah. A character that is kind of like Hu Tao is Arlecchino. Which Arlecchino does Blood Debt, which makes it so you can't heal unless you use her ult. But essentially, this is what happens. Now, of course, my Arlecchino is at a high level, but you can kind of see how it boosts the damage when I use her burst, compared to if I don't have her burst active. As you'll see, this is without her burst, and then with her burst.
Can't see?
But yeah, Hu Tao is pretty much the same. Yes. And Hu Tao is pretty much the same way. So when you use her burst, she'll take 30% of her health and put that 30% of her health as pyro damage on her spear, just like Arlecchino. If you choose to go for Hu Tao. Now, Nahida, on the other hand, creates a zone field for her ult, which allows her to go ahead and buff all teammates' damage outputs. And also spread Dendro to any enemies inside her ult. Now again, Nahida, unlike every other character, actually has a tracking burst. Now, just like how Tighnari's burst creates a field his field is a distraction, by the way, but his burst transforms his bow to tracking arrows. Nahita's burst in general is tracking by itself. So essentially for Nahita, you could go ahead, you could hold her burst down, spin around in a circle, and you'll track all the enemies around you, giving them all dendro. Yeah, that's essentially how that will work. And it's the same with Nahita. For example, to show that real quick. It's a good thing to do this on. Let's go down here. Do it on this.
But you should probably use an umbrella.
Actually, I'm gonna run across this real quick. We're gonna adjust the time because I do not want to get shocked by doing this. There we go. So, right, you're ruining the whole point, Farina. Alright, so if I threw the burst down, I could go ahead, miss my shot entirely, and it tracks the arrows back. And then the ult also tracks for Thanari.
One with the forest. Oh, one thing after another. Can't see?
Yep.
And shroud.
Now, if you're going to do something like this, where if you ever get Titanari, I'd say go ahead and go ahead and get the battle pass. If you're gonna use a bow user, I say go ahead and get the battle pass, only for one bow in particular, and that is for the Viridescent Hunt. Which Viridescent Hunt is a bow that essentially creates animo and traps enemies in a cyclone. But that's only if you're doing a bow user. For something, I usually suggest that. Because as you saw when I was playing, when I shot them, they would go ahead, they get sucked into the cyclone, and then all of them are together for mass damage. Go ahead and heal him real quick. Yeah, so yeah, you don't have to use it primarily on Zainari. You can use it on another bow user. It's just an overall good bow to start off with for bow users, and also for endgame content too. If you're gonna do, sorry, yawned real quick. If you're gonna do polearm type characters, I highly suggest doing the Favonius Lance, only because crit hit damages have a chance to giving you elemental energy back to your ult, so that's great. Same with if you're going to use a sword character.
Boring.
Now,
Isn't there anything else
Hydra-wise,
more interesting to do?
there's 2 Hydro characters I suggest people getting them when they do come back around. And those 2 characters for Hydro would have to, well, 3 Hydro characters technically, would be mainly Farina for her ability to heal and also do DPS. Yeah. The bow and the Cordex are also good. But for Hydro characters, there's only a couple I suggest. And that is usually, Lilani's a good Hydro character that just came out. She'll probably show up again soon, because she just passed. Farina's a good Hydro character. Nuvalet's a great Hydro character, because of high DPS, because he has the ability to infinitely keep going off with DPS. That is a great idea, because it would get you your ult faster for both of them. Actually, right now, there is a Hydra character that you could probably get right now. She is a 4-star, and she's actually in the banners right now. So in the banners right now, you have in the banners right now you have Candace, which is this character right here, and her burst is a shield that doubles her damage based off of the amount of, was it her max HP? So it essentially forms a barrier based on the damage based on the match HP she absorbs. Yeah. So she's not really a healer. She's more of the high damage type. She's more of the high damage type character. So to get Candace right now, if you go to the banner, she's actually right there on the right, inside the banner. She's a 4-star and she's a lucky drop. So you do have a chance to getting her, since she's there right now. Yeah. I believe. Yeah. What story's abilities again? Oh. Dory's burst is a tracking burst. I did not know that. Of course, I've never played with Dory. I like her ult though. Her ult essentially makes her immortal. Continuously restores HP based on Dory's max HP. Continuously restores energy. Be afflicted with electricity. Link the connector between Ginny and the character touches opponents. It will deal 1 instance of electro damage to them for 0.4 seconds. Yeah. I mean, I guess she's a healer. I don't really see how good of a healer she is. If you're looking for a good healer, there's a couple. There is Kokomi. When she comes around again, she's a 5-star. She's built off of healing for her burst. That's all you ever really use her for is healing. Other than that, another good healer would be Kuki Shinobu. She's actually an electro healer. Her burst heals. And then there's Yao Yao, if you can get her from the 4-star banners. She's also a healer. And she actually is Dendro. So.
Oh, ow! Where did that come from?
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of options you can do. It's just more of the fact of being lucky with getting certain characters, or just with what you got, trying to build into certain builds. I think the hardest thing about it is that you're just gonna have to grind. But right now, with what you got, I would just suggest doing the what was it? I'd suggest just doing the Lynette, Kujosara, Barbara, and Kale. If you're trying to make that Hydro Bloom build. I mean, you can also just swap Kale out for your Traveler. If you feel like that's not working for you. Because doing Dendro Traveler is also great.
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered.
Before I can show
If
you
you'd like
this.
to learn the
Before
proper-
I had this team, my before team was
Let's finish this quickly.
All is accounted for.
Let's move out.
real quick.
Can't sleep? Let's go for a walk then.
Chivalry
My
will
before
never
team
die.
was this.
I'd be happy to teach you.
Oh, I didn't swap to the team. Dang it. My before team was this. Yeah, the whole point of no animo was for the fact of water for healing, or a Hydra character for healing. Now, of course, Genshin can heal with his burst. It's just a lot slower, as you'll see. Just takes time. See? It's just a really lot slower. But then I would use Lila for her ice shield that fires crystals off. Well, it's not going to show it actually because I'm not near an enemy, but if I'm near an enemy and I do that, it will fire the crystals off at the enemy. For example.
There you are, eavesdropper. No, my sword!
Rebuild! Don't be scared. Not now.
So this was the whole point of the build.
Cut to the chase!
Allow me.
Blink! Don't blink! Now you've got me worked up. Nowhere to hide. Look at me. Just once.
There you go. That's the whole point of it. And then I would use Jingshou's ult to boost Keeching, essentially. Because with his ult,
Witness the power of Gugwa.
I could swap to Keeching, and I could swing and have him shoot the arrows down with his flying swords.
Incoming.
Yeah. I am completely off topic of what I was going to be doing tonight. I was originally going to be doing story tonight, and I have gone completely off pace. But yeah, just if you're trying to do Hydra Bloom, go the Lynette, Gujo Sara. No, you're good, you're good. Don't feel bad. I had a lot of fun doing that. But, do Lynette, Gujo Sara, Barbara, and Kale with what you have, and you should be good for a Hydro Bloom.
This is the spot. An eyewitness claimed to have seen Auroron speaking to some Fatui soldiers here. I don't know how much you're willing to believe me, but Auroron really is a good kid. I see no reason why he'd suddenly get involved with the Fatui. I'm convinced that what the witnesses saw was actually the Fatui coercing him, or perhaps trying to extract information. However, I doubt anyone would believe me, given there are no signs of a fight.
Didn't Kanich say that she's a big name in Natlan? Feels kinda weird to see her so frustrated.
Auroron? Well, He was left at the side of the road as an infant, and the people of the tribe took him in. You could say that everyone had a hand in raising him. He learned a lot from us, and once he reached adulthood, he built himself a house out in the countryside. He spends most of his days growing vegetables and raising aphids, living off of what he harvests from the garden. He's always been such a good kid. He would even get his friends to deliver whole bags of fresh produce to my place.
So, there is... It does recommend a couple sets to you in-game. Depending on, like, which ones are highly usable for those characters.
Oh well, let's keep looking.
They're mainly meta for the
He
character.
can answer all of our questions once we find him.
If you're... One moment. Yeah, that's why it's good to... you can go and unlock them and get those recommendations. But, that's the whole point behind it. You're supposed to go to those domains and actually unlock the domain with those recommendations and do them. Because, the recommendations have special, perks to them. But then again, real quick. If you're going to grind out anything in Genshin, hang on real quick. I need to check this real quick before I send it. Okay. So, if you're gonna grind anything out in Genshin, I highly suggest using this. It always gets updated every week. Or, not every week, but every day, practically. That is the HoloLab interactive map. Now, I suggest using this because it shows you every waypoint, every Animo, Geo, Electro, Dendro, Hydro, and Pyro's Chrysalis, and it also shows you all the hidden items, all the chest locations, puzzles, every key location, enemy locations, bosses, special bosses, every material location, essentially everything you would need to level up your characters, and this would make it 5 times as much faster as it would for you doing it normally. And this is usually what I use when I'm going for mining or like certain build craft for the game. So if you're looking to go ahead and do that, I highly suggest using this. And you can sign in with your character, by the way, with your HoloLab account or Holoverse account. And once you do that, you can go ahead and go base this off of your own stuff in the world. Yeah, it's very helpful. no problem. I just like helping. Should help you with getting into
He's
the
been
game
raising
easier.
phlogiston aphids for a long time, and since they were disturbed, they secreted a special type of phlogiston. We can use that substance to track his movements.
So that should help you with essentially getting started with everything, getting your materials, your builds done, knowing where certain artifacts are, which domains to go to, etc. Making your whole Genshin experience a little more easier. And since it shows every enemy location, it will show you literally if you need, say, you need Whopper Flower fluid, right? Like flasks. You could literally click the Whopper Flower in there, and it would show you all the Whopper Flower locations on the map. From Inazuma to Mondstadt, Liyue, Fontaine, Sumeru, and Natland. And it's constantly getting updated. So, because the way the map works is it's an interactive map between all HoloLab character or accounts. So essentially, if one person adds something onto the interactive map, everyone else on HoloLab gets that add-on to their map as an add-on. As an add-onable interactive piece. So it's always constantly getting updated. If something is missing, someone usually has found it, and then they'll just go ahead and put it on the map. So it helps.
Let's follow the phlogiston trail.
Huh? What trail? Paimon doesn't see anything.
Oh, right. I forgot your eyes don't naturally perceive such things. Here, give me your hand. Huh? How about now?
What do you see? Whoa, Paimon can see it now too!
That's right. I used a spell to temporarily transfer a portion of my senses to you. For a short while, you'll be able to see the phlogiston too.
Wow, you can even share your senses with us? First time Paimon's heard anything like that.
It requires a very rare spell that most people aren't adept at. But don't worry, it's a cinch for me. Between the two of you, it seems the Traveler's senses are a bit stronger than Paimon's. When I held your hand just now, I could sense that you've got a great affinity for phlogiston. You're extraordinarily gifted. Anyway, we'll need to use our vision now to track down Auroron. Good luck, you two.
Over here, this way! Sweet Lolly might say a lot of deep and confusing stuff, but this spell of hers is really something.
What was that?
Oh, Paimon!
What does she mean by deep and confusing? As far as elderly shamans go, I'd say that I'm already pretty easy to talk to. Is there any other old hag who's as fluent in the language of the youth as me? But is my way of speaking still not trendy enough? I've already tried my best to match their speech patterns. But given the looks on their faces just now... Or perhaps I'm still not fashionable enough? But that can't be, right? Ugh. Don't tell me they're still getting the impression that I'm super old-fashioned.
Huh? Was that St. Lally's voice?
Now that I think about it, it's a good thing I found some helpers this time. Some things are best done with the help of friends. Oh? They appear to be feeling quite confident. Looks like our work will go smoothly.
Hey, looks like there's a new camp over there. Yep. Judging by Paimon's experience as a guide, it definitely looks like people set up camp here.
Wait. The phlogiston here is a bit odd. Let me see.
Paimon sees a small shape here. Could it be some sort of symbol?
This is a distress signal for the Masters of the Night Wind. Only someone from our tribe would recognize it. So Auroron was indeed being threatened. We've got to find him, fast. Leaving such a subtle mark implies that he was trying to be discreet. In other words, he was probably under the Fatui's watch. If they notice us, we can just charge in and fight them to the death. But what if my darling grandson is also there? I can't have him caught in the crossfire. No. I've got to be careful. Otherwise he'd get hit as well. How annoying. No. No, I've got to stay calm and keep...
There are traces of people staying here, too.
Wait a second. The phlogiston around here is jumbled up. I can also smell a mix of elements in the air. Pyro, electro, and some other elements as well.
Kanich told us that you were super amazing. No wonder you...
It's about time that little brat said something nice about me. There are signs of a struggle here. Judging from what's left on the scene, there...
Do you still remember the little mark we found before? Paimon's thinking, what if Auroron wanted to leave another distress signal, but was caught by the Fatui?
Given there are 2 signals leading from here, we should split up as well. I'll take this direction, and leave the other one to you. Let's meet up again later. Auroron! What the heck were you doing? It's one thing to trouble me, but now I had to bring other people into this as well. You little brat.
And off she goes! Traveler, did you hear all of that as well? once Lolly left, that voice went away as well. Paimon even tried calling her name inside Paimon's head, but there was no response. So you were thinking the same thing! Paimon also thought that if we could hear what she was thinking, then she could probably also hear what we were thinking in our heads. She did say that she was quite adept at this spell, and it doesn't sound like she's had any trouble with it in the past. Huh, maybe we're a special case and can hear her thoughts as a side effect. If you think about it, she's really got a lively inner world. It paints... Paimon sees some traces here. Let's follow them and see if we can find anything up ahead. Did you find something? Huh. So we can't tell where Auroron might have gone from here. That's weird. The phlogiston trail suddenly stops. We can't make anything of these footprints either. But he can't have just evaporated into thin air, right? We know...
So, you can hear the sounds of the wind from beneath the earth. I'm very sorry, but please do not move. I have no desire to hurt you. I apologize that our first meeting has to take place like this. It's just that you're much like one of those animals with ears that perk up as soon as it senses danger in their environment. And given your combat proficiency, I would not have been able to gain an advantage over you if you were anywhere else in the world. However, you're now in the Night Kingdom, a familiar domain to the masters of the Night Wind. Hello, traveler. I'm Auroron, the one you've been searching for. Ah, the Fatui's custody. I see. So even Granny has told you that I was coerced by the Fatui. I'm afraid you've been brought here by a lie, like a false omen in the lingering smoke. My friend and I only left those traces to lure you here. Deceiving you was never our true intent, however. It was simply the fastest and most feasible way for us to set up a meeting.
Greetings, traveler from afar.
Be careful with this traveler. Her soul is temporarily restrained by us, and it appears to have become more fragile in the process. It's taking all my concentration to hold on to her.
It was I who tasked Auroron with leaving the traces to lead you here, and I who used the Master's ritual to bring your soul to the Night Kingdom. I've heard much about you from the past encounters you've had with my colleagues. Given the present situation in Natlan, I would like to sincerely request a formal meeting with you, in person. I will use the opportunity to explain my goals and motivations to you, as well as why I mistrust Malwika, the Pyro Archon. I believe there is little reason for you to blindly follow her plan. If you would like to hear our intel, then find us to the east of the stadium. But remember, not a word of this to anyone. I would like to avoid any further conflict.
You will see me again once you return to reality. No matter what I say, please, help me keep this a secret. This is all to avoid dragging Granny into this conflict.
Hey, why are you sitting on the ground? Are you okay?
See, Lolly! She froze for a moment and then just collapsed to the ground!
Could it have been those leftover remnants from the Night Kingdom? Do you have any itches or pain anywhere? Don't worry. We can take a short break. Sorry, I know I asked for your help. But had I known you were feeling unwell, I wouldn't have taken you on this trip with me.
If you're feeling sick, you should just say so. See, Lolly should be able to, exorcise any ghosts or weird stuff that you picked up in the Night Kingdom.
A seasoned traveler must know the importance of not pushing yourself beyond your limit. If you need anything from me, just say the word. In any case, let's take a bit more time to rest now. Need to be more careful next time.
Feeling better yet, Traveler?
All right, let's get ready. I followed my phlogiston trail earlier to a stronghold guarded by soldiers.
Oh, so it's close by. Then let's head over right away.
Well, I recruited you to be my helper, which means we're in this together. But if you want to make it up to me... Look over there.
Huh? Paimon thinks she sees someone in the middle of the camp.
That's Auroron. So he really was taken by the Fatui.
All right, we'll take the lead.
Hey, quit daydreaming. Don't you have work to do?
I cannot see the sun.
What?
Without the sun, I cannot see the truth. You are currently blocking the light, so I must beseech you to move aside.
Huh? Okay, Mr. Philosopher. That's enough mumbo-jumbo.
Wow. I'm going to rip that guy's head right off.
See, Lolly's struggling to control her temper now.
Are you ready? On my count. You're still trying to resist? You've got no idea who you're up against.
Excuse for slacking. Time to fulfill my duties. My work. Finish yourself. Leaving so soon.
Witness my rise. Show them. Right now. Right here.
And Shroud!
Strike a pose!
Overruled. Go on. This is where you are. Lay bare.
Finally. So quiet.
Auroron!
Granny!
Paimon knows she's called Granny Eats to Lead, but it's still kind of weird hearing someone actually call her Granny.
And greetings to you too, other Granny.
What did you just call her?
Granny. Is that not right? You are Granny's friend, are you not? You seem to be approximately the same age as her, so I figured you're also a Granny.
How many times have I told you? It doesn't work like that. There are a lot of people who look about the same age as me. You can't go around calling everyone Gramps or Granny.
Oh, wait. He's not a child, is he? Don't tell Paimon he's one of those people who look like an adult but are actually only 8 or 9 years old.
Oh, your words have pierced my heart like a thorned vine. Given how hard those thorns are to remove, I may just need to find a pair of tweezers.
Why are you so upset? You can just say yes or no.
Of course I'm not a child. It's just Granny always taught me to show gratitude where it's due. And since the Masters of the Night Wind raised me collectively, I basically see everyone above a certain age as an elder I should look up to. Exactly.
But if you keep that up, then everyone's going to be your senior.
And do you think saying all of this is gonna save you from a scolding, Auroron? Haven't I told you 100 times since you were a kid? Heed the 3 warnings.
Be wary of beasts prowling around, scammers looking for their next victim, and strange people who appear out of nowhere.
Oh, so you do remember, and you just chose to ignore them. I always knew that living on your own was going to get you into trouble sooner or later. But getting kidnapped? That really takes the cake. You won't always be able to rely on other people coming to your rescue, you know. You're just lucky we got here when we did. Or we might be launching another search and rescue operation to find out where they put your severed head.
I'm sorry, Granny. I'll be more careful next time.
Next time? Oh, good one. You think there'll be a next time after this? Not a chance. They didn't hurt you, did they?
No, they just asked me a lot of questions about Natlan's terrain and made me draw a map of the ley line distribution.
Okay, now answer me honestly. Were you the one who helped the captain escape after his battle with the Pyro Archon?
Yes.
So why did you do it?
Because they said they would need my help from there on out. They also said that if I refused, they'd just come to you, Granny, and they'd already figured out a way to make you do their bidding.
Hey! I'm no ordinary Granny! Would they really dare to come after me? And you! Did the gods give you a brain just for you to not use it? Did you really believe everything they said at face value, and not stop to think? Thankfully, the Pyro Archon only asked that we find the mysterious individual from the Masters of the Night Wind, and didn't slap your name on a wanted poster. Don't think for a second that she doesn't know what's happening. Even if the truth that you see will soon manifest into reality, there is still no need to preemptively panic. Have you forgotten the words that I've taught you?
I'm sorry.
Forget it. We can submit the details of this camp and the defeated Fatui as evidence of your innocence. Let's clean this place up and get back to the city. Auroron, you better remember this lesson well and seriously reflect on your actions. Also, once we return to the city, come to the speaker's chamber with me. I'll need you to explain everything.
Sounds good. Should I bring some of my homegrown vegetables as well?
Your vegetables?
Yes. I grow a lot of fresh produce in my garden. I hope the Pyro Archon won't be too picky about the selection.
Now's not the time to be thinking about that. If you do come face to face with the Pyro Archon, the first thing you should do is...
recite the 3 warnings.
Huh? No! You should emphasize that you were not in cahoots with the Fatui!
How exactly did the Masters raise this guy?
Oh, right.
I see. So Auroron came to the captain's rescue because he promised to help him in exchange for Citlali's safety.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Now that you know Auroron was only trying to protect another member of his tribe, could I ask you to petition the Pyro Archon for her forgiveness?
We'll give her a full report. We'll let you know once she's reached a decision.
Will I need to stay here?
Technically, yes. But if Miss Citlali is willing to serve as your guarantor, then we can release you from custody.
Sure. I'd be happy to do that. I don't have any more time to waste here. I still have other things to do.
Understood. Thank you very much. Mr. Auroron, please report back to the Speaker's chamber as soon as you've received notice of the Archon's decision.
I understand. Thank you. And thank you too, Granny.
Well, at least you won't need to hide your face anymore.
Traveler, Paimon, thank you very much for your help. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about my side of the deal. Once Auroron is settled, I'll go talk to Shilonen and get started on forging an ancient name for you.
Oh, thank you!
You scratch my back, I scratch yours. It's as good as done. You can just go twiddle your thumbs or something while you wait for the good news. Bye for now. Come with me, Auroron. We've got to find you a place to stay for the night.
Goodbye, Other Granny.
We're finally done. Alright, it's time to find some grub. Huh? What is it, Traveler? What? That captain? Sorry. Paimon just didn't see that coming. So you really saw him in the Night Kingdom? And he didn't attack you? Oh, that Auroron, what is he up to? He sounded earnest enough just now. Paimon would have never guessed anything was happening. All that stuff about protecting Citlali and being forced to help the Fatui, when he's actually been a willing accomplice all along. Yeah, you're right. Still, Paimon appreciates you telling her about this. Paimon will support your choice no matter what, so if you want to go, we can go together. We still have another whole day before the meeting, so we'll just meet with them when the time comes. doesn't see anyone. Oh, please don't let this be a trap. What was that?
Good evening. Nice to see you again.
It's you. You shouldn't pop up from behind people like that. What are you, a ghost?
I'm terribly sorry. It's just a force of habit.
And what's with you apologizing all the time? You sound so polite and honest, but you're actually doing
You're right. Granny tells me that too. Huh. Come to think of it, you remind me of her. Sometimes you two sound really similar, you know.
Oh, so you're gonna call Paimon Granny too now?
Well, I could. It's all clear. Over to you.
Excellent. The fact that you showed up proves that I was right about your character. Yet, there's been a lot of talk about you. Child told me that you're passionate about the unknown and willing to take risks. Rather than facing you as an enemy, I would much prefer to bring you to my side. If we allow the current state of things to continue, we will inevitably clash, and that's a scenario that I'd very much like to avoid. I've long heard of your exploits across the nations. Though you have crossed swords with my colleagues many times, I know that you are by no means an unreasonable person. And once you've learned the truth that the Pyro Archon Malwika would never willingly share with you, you may just find it in your heart to consider my proposal.
I assume you've already been informed of the Pyro Archon's plan. In order to defeat the Abyss and save Natlan, she still needs 2 more heroes to appear.
Wait, how did you know that? Never mind. Guess that's not important now.
I've long kept a close eye on her plan. To be frank, it's an exceedingly risky plan. Will the heroes really appear? And even if they come to her, will their power be enough to drive the Abyss back? If any part of the plan goes awry, all of Natlan, even all of Tevat, will pay for her mistakes. Now, you may have been led to believe that this is the only plan available to her. But what if I told you she's had another emergency plan all along, the details of which she has chosen to keep hidden from you?
An emergency plan?
Yes. A way to keep Natlan intact, even if her original plan fails. But given the painful cost of its execution, she has chosen to keep it as a mere backup plan. Whether this stems from hesitation, fear, or even naivete, I cannot say. But Natlan cannot afford to wait until she comes to her senses. My fear is that given the enormity of the decision, she will be reluctant to confront the dire reality we face until it is too late. There will be no time left to execute the backup plan, and all of Natlan will be lost to the Abyss. We have to make the decision for her, here and now.
Yeah, do you have any evidence for all this? Just telling us a bunch of scary stuff isn't enough, you know. Besides, wasn't it you who tried to seize the Gnosis for the Tsaritsa's plan?
I knew you to be clever enough to see. That's right. I did not seek the Gnosis for the Tsaritsa. Since I was defeated in battle, I must put to rest my thoughts about the Gnosis. But even so, my desire to save Natlan remains unchanged. And now, I have found a new way to solve the crisis. We can implement it immediately if we reach an agreement.
Someone's here.
Huh? The captain disappeared!
Something is rapidly approaching.
Something? Bad news, chump! It's your granny!
See, Lolly? When did you get here?
I knew something was amiss after we were separated. Hidden ceremonial tools, an unconscious traveler. I must say, I'm very curious about what you're up to. How dare you go behind our backs like this, Auroron? Colluding with the Fatui? Really? Oh, here we go again. Cat got your tongue, huh? You really think you can avoid a scolding just by staying quiet?
I'm not trying to avoid anything.
Oh, and now you're talking back. Well, go on then. Explain yourself. What the heck are you up to?
I'm sorry, Granny. I feel so guilty.
You! That's it! Where are my tools? I swear if I don't teach you a lesson right here and now—
Wait, Chloe! Please, calm down. We, still learned a lot of info, didn't we? Like the fact that the captain isn't trying to seize the Gnosis anymore. So, maybe just save the scolding for later, okay?
Listen well, Auroron. You're only getting out of this now because of the Traveler's plea. This isn't over. You hear me? You're right, Traveler. Let's go. We can discuss this more back in the city. You two keep an eye on Auroron for me, okay? In all my years, I've never had a child cause me so much grief. Do you seriously not see what's at stake here? You've got a head on your shoulders, Auroron. Use it! Why did you help the captain? And I want the truth this time. No answer? Think you're being smart? Then let me ask a different question. What does the captain want? What is his purpose in Natlan? Really? You're just going to stonewall me? Just use your brain for a second. You've always been a good kid. Why would you throw that all away now? If you're worried about something, just talk to me. Granny would much rather we had a conversation instead of constantly clashing like this.
Why is he staring at us all of a sudden?
I'm sorry that you have to hear all this. Indeed. It's like going to visit a friend at his house, only to suddenly hear your friend berating a naughty Saurian.
Well, that's an oddly specific analogy. Wait, did one of your friends really do that?
Yes. And every time my friend scolded his Saurians, they would look at me the same way you're looking at me now. Helpless and embarrassed.
Wait, but you're the one getting your head chewed off. Stop making this about us!
Indeed, you've got a point. Then please just hang in there for a little while longer. Granny should be done with her scolding session soon.
Oh? You dare gossip between yourselves instead of listening to me? You...
Sorry, Granny.
Sorry, Granny. Sorry, Granny. You know what? Fine. I'm perfectly aware that everything I say goes in one ear and out the other. You're all grown up now, so why would you listen to an old hag like me? You say all the right things, but then you go and completely ignore me! Well, if that's how you're going to treat me, you can stop sending Aoife over to my place to deliver your stupid vegetables! I don't need anything from you!
Who's Aoife? A delivery person?
That's irrelevant. The point is, he hangs out with this kid, so he must be no good. You kids get to a certain age and suddenly act like you know it all. There's nothing I can say to get through to you. Auroron, if you're still thinking about that so-called duty, then please, just forget about it. The ley lines did not fall to this state because of you. And we've long closed the book on that incident.
Seems they've started talking about some kind of tribal history. I'm starting to get lost.
That's not it, Granny. I know you tend to get down on yourself when you're upset, but I can tell I really hurt you this time. All I can say is I'm sorry.
His voice. Auroron! Where have you gone?
It sounds like he's somewhere super far away, but isn't he right here in front of us?
I'm really sorry. It's up to all of us to do everything we can to save Natlan. So I've got to go.
Get back here this instant! Auroron! What is this? Powder from plant spores? Is that the trick he used?
What just happened? How was he able to suddenly get so far away like that?
It's a trick of his. If you grind spores into a powder and spray it in the air, it can be manipulated to create an illusion. He pulled it off flawlessly. He must have put a lot of time into perfecting it. Don't tell me that's how he's been hunting in the fields these days. Couldn't he have picked up something more useful? Little brat. That's it. The next time we meet, I'm definitely going to break his legs.
Whoa, that's a little extreme. But still, why does he feel like he needs to run from us? If his goal is also to protect Natlan, then can't we work together?
I'm sorry for interrupting your conversation with them earlier. But even if you'd been able to hear them out, there's no guarantee you would have gained anything substantial. Auroron probably did everything he could to get away because he knew I'd get the truth out of him sooner or later. That brat. I swear. We've got quite a long walk back to the city. Let's take our time. It'll give me a moment to figure out how to explain all this. Do you two have some time? Feeling hungry?
Oh, right. It's been a while since we last ate. Now that...
Then let's go. We can find...
Really? You're not gonna... that's right. See, Lolly has gotten a lot quieter since Auroron ran away. She seems to be having a hard time. She's right. We're seasoned adventurers, so we're more than capable of paying our own bill.
Hey, come on now. You won't even let me take you out for some food and drinks? I just wanted to treat you to a meal.
Are you sure? We can save you some more.
Mora is the least of my concerns. Besides, we're definitely due a meal after all the time we've spent together. Let me get this one. I might be an old hag, but I like to think I'm not completely useless.
Sure, that's fine with us, but... Paimon doesn't want you to be sad, sweet Lolly.
Don't worry. I'm sure a juicy grilled steak will work wonders. Huh?
What are you looking at?
Do you see two people standing by the door? They look like spitting images of each other. Are they twins?
But Paimon only sees one person there.
Huh? How could that be? I guess my mind isn't as sharp as it used to be. Give me another bottle, boss!
Do you think she's drunk?
There you go, miss. Oh my! It's not every day you get to see Granny Itzley here with some friends. Not to mention ones who've made a huge name for themselves recently.
Oh, so you've heard of us?
Of course I have! Aren't you the ones who saved—
Wait, so you call her Granny too?
Well, given our ages, it'd probably be more accurate for me to call her my great-great-granny. She's one of the most famous people at the Masters of the Nightwind. Most days, hardly anyone even dares talk to her.
Huh? Gossiping about me right in front of my face now, are you, Chonka?
Oh, please, Granny, I wouldn't dare. I'm just beyond happy to see you bring over some new friends. After all, any friends of our regulars are sure to be great customers too.
All right, that's enough. Go on now. I'm sure the other customers would like to talk to you as well. There's no need to keep staring at me. I promise I'll keep my alcohol down until I leave.
Well then, you have my thanks.
Seat Lowy? Seat Lowy?
Who's that? You got some gall calling me by my first name. Let me guess. You want to test your skills against Granny Eatsley, don't ya?
Are you still with us, Seat Lowy? You're kinda talking to no one.
You chumps come around here, picking fights with me? Well, you know what happens next. You lose, and then run off home to tell everyone about how I'm this big scary bully. It's always the same story. You brats start it, I finish it, and then I end up with the reputation of being some kind of terrible monster among the shamans. I mean, come on. Monster? Me? Really? What did I do to deserve that?
Granny Seat Lowy, you're not a monster at all.
Exactly! And while we're at it, I'm not some lazy slacker either. Between meditation, advising the chief, and speaking with the Wyab, I actually have a pretty packed schedule, you know! Oh yeah, and I have to mentor all the new kids! Hey, new kid! Yeah, you! Don't play dumb. Didn't I teach you how to find phlogiston? You see? I know my stuff. I'm a good teacher. You That's more like it. About dang time someone showed me a little respect. Yeah, Granny's a hard worker, all right. You can always rely on old Granny.
Did she just fall asleep with her eyes open? Oh, jeez.
Behind this pitch-black curtain, a chapter of hatred reveals itself. Behind the smoke. The lingering smoke.
Ah, she's meditating again. She does this whenever she's had a few too many drinks. Her mind's actually racing at this point. It's quite the opposite of sleep.
Is this another specialty of the Masters of the Nightwind?
No, I'd say it's an ability that's unique to Citlali herself. While she can easily pick up everyone else's skills and tricks, few have been able to master hers.
Warning, warning. Red, red, the color of danger, has now arisen within that pair of eyes. Huh? Traveler? Paimon?
What's wrong?
I'm gonna hurl.
Hang on, just keep it in.
Phew. Okay, it's passed.
You had Paimon worried. Paimon really thought you were about to barf all over the table just...
How embarrassing. I'm sorry you had to see me like that. That's never happened before, I swear. I've never thrown up, not once.
Are you feeling okay? Want to take a quick walk and get some fresh air?
There's so much that I want to say, but I can't.
Why not? Of course you can. Just say whatever's on your mind.
Please, Paimon. It's not as simple as you think. We've only known each other for a few days, right? What would you think of me if I were to start dumping all of my complaints on you after we've only just met?
Oh, Paimon gets it. You're hoping that we wouldn't think less of you no matter what you're...
No, that wasn't my point at all! Seriously, don't you youngsters know anything about shame? I'm talking about shame! I've lived all these years and still can't get rid of it! Surely, you know the feeling too?
Actually, about that.
Huh? Tell me what?
Yeah, this is as good a time as any.
So, you heard...
It's okay, Citlali. You had every right to complain about those things.
I can't take it anymore! Why do these things happen to me? Hearing me mumble under my breath is one thing, but hearing what I mumble in my own head? It's just like when you're rolling on the floor in your pajamas, but you forget to lock the door, and someone bursts in to deliver cabbages and sees the whole thing!
So that, happens to you a lot.
It happens to people in general, okay? Doesn't matter if you're 200 years old or 1,000 years old. Everyone rolls around in their pajamas sometimes. I was just picking something generic. Take a walk with me. I have things to share with you.
Looks like she's completely given up. What?
I'm happy, but I am way too tired for this. Yeah, okay, yeah, actually, you know what? No. I'm done. I'm way too tired. I don't want to pass out in dialogue. I will do this when I wake up. This was fun. I am going to sign off for the night. It is now 4 in the morning. Actually, it's almost 5 in the morning. God dang. Okay, yeah. Well, good morning to some people. I'm going to bed for an hour. Well, technically 3 hours, but yeah. Really enjoyed this. See you all next time. When we finish this. At some point. Dang, I still need to finish Ender Lilies. Okay. Here we go.